Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Electrical Code Academy. My name is Paul Abernathy, your host, and welcome to another video where I'm going to talk a little bit about the FastTrack system. More specifically, we're going to be looking at the FastTrack Black, and it's also the FastTrack Plus, which uses the FastTrack Black, but the Plus, which is a special you see scrolling across the screen, with is 25% off until November 30th, 2022. The plus just means you get access to the videos on our website. The black is just our course, which we're going to look at today. So if you wanted to know the difference, what plus was, it just gives you access to hundreds of videos that we've done over the last couple of years on all different types of topics. And you get to watch them and view them. And we always have new ones coming out. And you can even get access when you're in the plus. You even get to access to the videos on your mobile device as well through our app. So again, there's a benefit to having Plus. And so we wanted to be able to give a coupon and give you, I believe it's about $130 some off the normal price. Okay. So anyway, welcome to the show. So I'm going to kind of walk you through quickly all of the features. It's going to be very quick. So hopefully you're going to stick around and go through it all, because I don't want anybody to be confused about what you get in the FastTrack program, especially when you're trying to learn the National Electrical Code, because there is no other course out there that is like this program. So let's go on and get it up, and I'll kind of show you what we got going on here. All right, so here we go. So this is what the FastTrack looks like. This is pretty much similar to what you're going to get when you log into your console. You're going to see that there's multiple sections, and each section opens up to offer different assignments that you're going to have to do. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to always go in the how to use the FastTrack folder, and you're going to watch the video. It explains how to use our program, what the chevrons mean, what you're supposed to do with going from the unit into your code book and back and forth, because that's the whole purpose of our program, is to make you more familiar with this code book by working you from the course material into the National Electrical Code. And so we spent a lot of time doing that and figuring out how to do that, which no other program does. Usually they just dump you with a bunch of information. But what we do is we really systematically try to work you from the course into the code, into the course, into the code. Okay, so let's kind of look at what we got here. So yours console will look very similar to this. So you have these units, and we'll just kind of jump into a unit. We'll just go right here to section 2. And you'll see that there is 4 units in here, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now, general provision, for example, is one family dwelling. That's going to talk about the general 6-foot, 12-foot spacing, all of the general things that you need to know about one family dwellings. We're going to cover, obviously receptacles placement, lighting outlets, all those different nuances are covered there. Then you'll have specific provisions like for kitchen countertop placements, and all that, islands and all that kind of stuff. And of course, everybody always asks, do we cover load calculations in our program? Absolutely. So we not only will talk about conductor sizing, we will do raceway fill, we will do conduit fill, raceway conduit, same thing. We will talk about pull box calculations. We will talk about box fill calculations. We will do range calculations, cooktop calculations. We will do 1 and 2 family dwelling calculations, both the feeder and the service. We will calculate individual branch circuits. We will do multifamily buildings. We will do commercial buildings. I'll even show you how to do a store and an office building. We break it down so that you understand all of the little elements that are involved. We even give you fill in the blank forms that you can print out. And you should be using them every time you work and exercise in our program, because it's going to teach you the important steps that you need to understand the NEC and lock that in your head, right? So let's kind of look here. So here's Unit 8. You've got the reading material, and here's that form I was telling you about. I'll go on and click on the form so you can see what that looks like. So here's the form. You're just simply going to download it right here on your computer. Or you can enlarge it and print it out, however you want to do it. But see here, there's an optional method and there's a standard method. step by step. It gives you code references on every step so that there is no question how you proceed with this. Right? So these are all included in our program, and they're designed to work in conjunction with our course material. So let me just show you the reading material, and we'll make sure that I go back to the beginning here. So you'll have an introduction to every unit, and that kind of lets you know the core fundamentals of what you're going to learn in this unit. So you want to read these, okay? And then you can go on and you'll start talking about every little element. And this is the calculation unit, which 8 is one of our toughest units. It talks about the square footage. It talks about 220.11. Now, this is where we see these chevrons. What are these chevrons all about? Well, I'm going to highlight it real quick. And you see you have a highlight feature here. And when I do highlight it, by the way, it also puts it over here in the study hub under highlights. So click on highlight and you go down here to unit 8. And you'll see right here where I have highlighted 220.11. See, it matches over here, and I can go right to it. It tells you the date you did it. I'll just click that. We'll go right to it. And we're back where we were. So when you see these chevrons, what you're going to do is anytime you have a chevron, you stop. You grab your code book. You open your code book up to 220.11, and you read it in its entirety. Then you look back at the course material, and then you start matching up the callouts, A and B and C, and read the material, and it's all going to start to make sense. And so that's what those chevrons are for. And we've systematically placed those at important locations throughout the course. The whole purpose here is to get you to move in and out of the course material, okay? All right, so that's one of the features that we have in here. Now, while we're here, let's go on and look at one of the other features that we have. And it is called the ballistic training feature. And this is the Readme feature. Now, you can use this. People that have trouble with reading comprehension, in other words, reading something and understanding it, they like to hear something and then read it. Well, here's a little tip. You can left click, drag it, holding the mouse down. Just drag off to here. Just say, this is all I want. And then you'll have a pop-up come up. Now, you can do the read text. You can actually make a note right here. Like if I click the note, I can say, ask Paul on Wednesday night session, right? And it'll ask, and it'll create a note over here in your study hub. And so when you come to your Wednesday night sessions, which are included, you get to come to Wednesday nights live if you want, then you can ask the question and you can have it right there on your console. The other thing you can do is create the notes as you're going through the course, and then you can email us your notes while they're fresh in your mind while you're doing that. Okay, so that's another feature for the notes. But what I wanted to show you is the Readme feature. So I'm going to left click it and then see where it says read text. Check us out.
Open porches are not included in the calculated floor area of dwelling units.
Now I'm going to be reading that as it bounces along. And so as it goes along, I'm also reading it. I'm seeing it. I'm following along. I'm hearing it. For many people, that can be a benefit. Some people don't like the cadence. Well, if you don't like that, you can actually go over here and you can change the speed, slow it down if you want. So you can change it from a male to female, right? So I'll just change the cadence and we'll do it again. See if it's too slow for you. Maybe it's too fast for you.
Open porches are not included in the calculated floor area of dwelling units.
It's a little slow for me. So I am going to go back and I'm going to actually put that back to medium because that was more of a natural flow for me. So anyway, you've got that feature. Now, let's say the text is a little small because you're using a small monitor. And again, remember, our course works on a mobile device or a computer or laptop. Just use it in a normal browser and you can pinch to zoom, do what you want. But if you want to change the text at any time, you simply click right here and I can go from smaller text to larger text right on the screen, depending on the size of your monitor. Now, remember, this is usable in a cell phone screen or a large desktop. But just remember, when you're doing the competency review questions, you need a lot of real estate because you got to type stuff in. And so it's going to probably be harder on this than it would to have it on a bigger screen. But as far as reading the course and working on it, you can use the phone if you'd like. It's all browser based anyway, right? All right, so anyway, next thing, let's say you're tired, you're working in your unit and you want to bookmark a spot so you can come back to it later. So we're in 8.1 and I want to leave off on 8.1. So, okay, so I'm going to bookmark it. So now let's say that I've come back to my unit and I can go right here to the study hub, click on the study hub, click bookmarks. And there it is right there. There's 8.1. I can click it and guess what? It'll take me right back to where I was before. You can take off the bookmark and continue on where you left off, right? See this highlight right here? Again, you can click it again and you can remove the highlight if you want, or you can left click and hold it and you can highlight even more, okay? And what it does is it puts those highlights in your study hub so that you can access them, say, during our Wednesday night sessions, or maybe you just want to go back and re-look at things that you highlighted to kind of, maybe it's something you felt was really important and you want to highlight it, okay? All right, so we have really good illustrations. We have a lot of good call outs. Also, at any given time, you can access the course book. So let's say I was doing a competency review right now. So I've done this unit, I've read everything here. Then I can obviously go do the competency review. So I'll click on that real quick, show you. So here's your review. You're going to put to NEC reference, so where you found the answer in the code book, not the course material, the code book, where you found the answer. And then over here, you're going to put the answer right here. And you notice something. These are not A, B, C, D. That's what makes these challenging, because you have to have read the material to understand it. Now, we're going to give you a couple A, B, C, and Ds, raise that comfort level. But again, you're going to have to answer this information. Now, here's two options here. Two inputs here. There's a percentage here, and there's another value here. So the answer is going to have two items here in the answer. Now, where you found this in the code, you're going to put it right here. Now, here's the neat thing. You can open the book at any time. If you're in this competency review and you're like, crap, I just don't remember where I read it. I know I did this unit. I read it really intensely, but I'm lost a little bit. Well, check this out. I can open the book while I'm doing the review. There's no excuse for turning in an empty review. There's no excuse for turning in one with a bunch of blanks. You've got the book right here. So look, I'm going to go down to Unit 8. That's what we're working on. And in Unit 8, I can go down and look at the question, and then I can come down and try to decipher where it's being talked about in this unit, okay? Like nameplates and all this kind of stuff. So you can scroll down, and this is what you're going to do, and you can actually work your way through it using the course book at any time. And again, one of the other features I didn't tell you about is that you can print any page you want in this course material. You can even print these off if you want to work them offline, and then you want to bring it back later and fill in the blank, because we prefer that you do it electronically. But you can go right down here, print it right here, print this test, and then when you come back, just fill in the blanks with whatever you wrote down on your paper, and then come down and click the submit button, and you're good to go. All right? Makes sense? So these competency reviews get graded by me personally, and I give you feedback. Now, where do you go to get my feedback? Down here on the bottom right, and I've got to turn me off in order for you to be able to see that. So let me turn me off. So you see that little green circle in the bottom right? Barely see it. Right? So down here is where you go to click to get all your grades, right? So here's where your grade book would be. These are all my students, but you would click down here and you would find your grades, and then you'll get also my responses. So that's where you're gonna go for that, okay? All right, so that's your competency reviews. Every unit has a competency review, okay? Now, when you're reading the course material, again, I want you to see that here you can click print, and it will literally bring it up here, and you can print it right here. See that? You can print everything, and if the images don't show up, just refresh it, and it'll bring it back up. Or you could print it straight from here. You can right click, and then of course you see you got a print button right there. However you want to do it, you should be able to print anything you want off there. Okay? All right, so as you go through each unit, you just systematically go. Remember, the first thing you're going to do when you get into our program is go here and watch this video. It's going to show you the different chevrons, the different features. That's the first thing you want to do before you even get started in our program. Now, we're going to teach you one-family dwellings. We're going to teach you multifamily dwellings, the calculations, the loads, non-coincident loads. We're going to talk about square footage, the lighting loads in 220.12 for commercial locations. We're going to show you how to do the calculations for ranges. We're going to show you how to do it for dryers. All of that's covered in our program. But that's not all. We're also going to talk about hazardous locations, healthcare facilities, industrial locations, special occupancy, special equipment. You're going to get a little bit of everything in here. And you guess what? If there's something in here that we don't cover in detail, then you're going to get it on a Wednesday night session, or you're going to get it on a rebroadcast of one of these sessions that we've done. Like if we've gone deep into Ohm's law and electrical math, we have a recorded session on that we've done on a Wednesday night that you're going to have access to, right, as a FastTrack student. All right, so now there are some additional videos in here that you can watch. Pretty cool little videos. Some of them are older and dated. These are not the ones that are included in the Plus program. Those are on our website. These are just ones that are included in here. And while some of them might be a little old and dated, they're still relevant. So that's why they're there. It's no sense in reinventing the wheel because they're just thrown in here as extra, okay? You should have enough illustrations in here and enough information to help you understand it. But if not, there are some videos that can help you as well. Now, if that wasn't enough, you also get a video that explains how to identify the root of an exam question, and then you're given a bunch of exam questions. Now, here's over 800 exam questions down here that you work through, and I'll show you an example of what it looks like. Click on it here. All right, so you work your way through it. Here you see there are 25 of them. So there's 20 sets of 25, 800 questions. Out of these questions, there's only about 8 of them that are kind of a wonky type of question. But that's a very low percentage, over 800 really, really good questions. But we like to think of those wonky ones as little Easter eggs. And we can't change them because we purchase these for your use. Don't go buying questions from people. Don't go buying 100 question exams everywhere, spending a couple $100 on that. We're including them all right here. And you know what? Here's neat. If you do any of these and any of these questions don't make sense to you and you got it wrong and you just don't understand it, when you come to Wednesday night, you can actually ask me to go in and look at that question that you got wrong, and I will break it down and dissect it for you. That way you leave the session truly understanding. Now, I don't know any course out there that allows that kind of interaction with the instructor. Ours does that, okay? So you get access to all these, but if you would thought that that was all you got, that's not all you get. You also have what we call the final exams. Now, we're gonna give you 2 of them that are timed. So there's a timer on there, and you can't go back like on a regular exam. These you're constantly moving forward because I don't think that you'll be able to answer all of these in 2 hours. And these first 2 exams are timed for a reason. We're trying to push you to answer those questions based on what you've learned to this point. So you're not going to do these final exams until you finish all of the practice exams and you get closer to the time when you're going to prepare for an electrical exam. Or if you're not preparing for an exam, when you finish the course material and you finish the practice exams, which you should be doing simultaneously, maybe do a practice exam a week or 2 while you're doing your course material, kind of change out a little bit. When you get finished your material, then you can start doing the finals. And that's when you're going to start timing yourself. That's when you're going to start really paying focus on those questions. And so these timed ones, let me give you an example of what it looks like. So you click it and you get started. And these are unique. We put these in here, and here you go. Get started. There you go. Let's see here. And here, this assessment's already been done. Okay, this was a timed one. You can always do them again, but this one's timed. And you can see boom, boom, boom. And of course, here we did it with the students, so you could see all the answers down here. And these weren't answered within the 2-hour time limit, so that's why they were marked wrong. Okay, they were used during a demo. Okay, so again, that's your prep. There you go. See that? Go in there, and if you do this one, you get to go back and assess it. So see how I went back and it started over again? So you have 100 questions, and once you start, it'll tell you the time you got left. Isn't that cool? And you can always do it over and over. It'll flip the questions around. It'll redo the questions. This is such an important feature because it's really going to make you get speedy, okay? And you got that timer going. But we also give you these that do not have timers. And the reason we give you these is because even though they're final exams, we don't want you to worry so much about the time. But if you do want to time yourself, these are the ones that we say take your phone, put a 2-minute timer on your phone, set your phone down, hit the timer, try to answer the question, let the timer keep going, and see how many seconds it took you past the 2 minutes. Or maybe you answer it within 2 minutes and then go to the next question. So these are a little different than the timed one. These, you can time yourself, but I want you to do each one independently. Why? Because I want you to work on dissecting it. Okay. Anyway, we cover all this in our program. We explain it on our Wednesday night, how you're supposed to do these questions. So don't worry if it sounds confusing. We go through all of that. That's what I'm here for. I'm here as your instructor. Now, lastly, you have all of those. Those are, I believe, in itself, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's over 500 questions here. There's over 800 questions in the practice one here. There's over 800 here. There's probably in the competencies, there's probably close to 400. These are a lot of questions in our program. Imagine what you'd pay for just for questions. But we go deep into the code, not just buying questions. Okay. Now, one of the other things that we give you are blueprints. So let's say you want to go look at a blueprint and you want to start learning some of the elements of a blueprint. Well, we're going to give it to you and you can print these off. But check this out. You can start looking at a blueprint and move around the blueprint, print it off, whatever you want to do, full screen it, start looking at all the notes, trying to learn what some of these things mean. This is simply to get you more familiar with blueprints. Again, I can go to full screen here, or I can go to full screen here if you want it, depending on the size of your monitor. And it just makes it so much nicer to be able to have that. Okay, so many features that we have in this program that, again, I can only begin to touch the surface. The FastTrack Plus is the best value. Right here, you get the coupon 25% off. It goes away on November 30th, so don't ask me after, okay? If you didn't get it or you're just stumbling on this video and you did not get the deal, you know what? It's still a great value for what you get. Just the Wednesday night sessions alone you couldn't put a price on it, that type of thing, right? So, all right, so obviously the last thing I want to talk about is obviously, well, two things. The study hub is where you're going to go to find all your bookmarks and all your highlights and things like that. Now, down here, you see this thing called flashcards. Flashcards is where you can actually create your own flashcards. You don't have to make index cards anymore. You can make endless flashcards. Now, we've already have some in here. As you can see, we have them based on each unit. We have a bunch of flashcards, but you can make your own flashcards. Really easy. Down here where it says create a card, I can create it on every article. So if I wanted to make it on brand circuits 210, then I can create one for that. And I've done that. Okay. So here's NRTL, Nationally Recognized Testing Laboratory, Luminaire, light fixture. All right. NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, that type of thing. Listed is, again, evaluated by a nationally recognized testing laboratory. Make any one you want. You can shuffle the deck. There's the Article 210 branch circuits. So here's what I recommend. Use this create feature, create your own. So let me do one for motors. So let's do Article 430, right? And we'll do motors. There you go. Save it. And there's 430. And so you can get into, when you're doing it, you can click it, motors. So you can add as many, and I recommend that you add it to unit 1 and just fill up unit 1 so that it ends up becoming your go-to for all the ones you made yourself. And that way you leave all the other ones pristine. So they're very specific to those units. But I like to use unit 1 to be the place where I put all the ones that I create. And you can do the same thing, but you can put them anywhere you want. Now, the beautiful thing about this is you need to be making flashcards that you can do at the end of every training session. Take a break before you end a night of training, go down and do the flashcards that you created. So create flashcards for every article so that you get used to just rolling off those articles. Do flashcards for every major table in the code. Okay, 310.16 for ampacities, 250.122 for equipment grounding conductors, 250.66 for grounding electroconductors. Again, all of those 430.248, 249, and 250 for dealing with the FLC for motors. create these tables so that boom, 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 you get so good at it that even when you're around other people on the job site and people ask a question about something, you can go, oh, this non-metallic sheath cable. You go, oh, that's easy. That's Article 334. And then you'll even get so good as you'll make flashcards for different important sections. Like maybe it's a securing and supporting requirement, and you can go, oh, that non-metallic sheath cable, secured and supported in accordance with 334.30 is the section. And they'll be looking at you like, what? That's how good you can get. And you might say, I don't need to be that good. You do. You really do. This is your profession. This is what you're doing for a living. But think how much easier the job will be when you just know these things. And then you have that intelligent discussion with an inspector and they won't challenge you because you're on the ball. That's what this course does for you. It not only helps you pass an exam, but it really does make you proficient in the code. And again, every electrician needs to be proficient in the code. That's part of what you do. Just because you can turn some wire nuts, just because you can run some conduit, doesn't make you an electrician. You have to be the mental game with the physical game. And that's what our program is keying in on. Okay. All right. So that's your flashcards, and it's down here in the bottom right. It may be behind me and you can't see it. So let me get rid of me real quick. So there you go. You see those flashcards down here? Right here. Here's your flashcards. And here's where you go to get your grading after every unit that we grade. You go down here and click it, and you can go get your grade and see the commentary that we give you and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So again, that's just kind of touching the surface on all of the features that you get in here. It is just a very extensive program. So, I just want you to know everything that you get here. It is a lot of work has been put into this program. The Wednesday night sessions you get access to. Also, as a Fast Tracks member, whether you're in the Black or the Plus, you also can request to join our Sparky Hub, and that is a location that you can only get in the Fast Tracks Black and Plus forum if you are a Fast Track student. And in there is where we share the rebroadcasts of Wednesday nights. There's where other Fast Track students share things that they want to ask, that they want to do it in the confines of everybody that's like-minded that are in the course, not shared on Facebook and other places where you've always got that troll that wants to belittle you. No, it's a protected environment to help you learn and be very productive. And that's what I'm all about. I'm not about that other stuff. You may have heard about me leaving Facebook. We're creating our own ecosystem to help you learn and become better at the code. And when you become better at the code, you become better electricians. So if you're watching this video and it's not November 30th, take advantage of the special here, Black Friday 2022. Get that 25% off. It's an amazing deal. You get access to it for an entire year. Make sure then you go to the website and you sign up as a member. In other words, register as a member, because then that's how you get access to the Plus features on our website. Two different things, okay? The course is on a different server. The Plus aspect is on our website, okay? Don't worry, it sounds confusing, but it's not. We look forward to having you in the program. If you have any other questions, do me a favor. Please leave it in the comments, or you can always email us, okay, at info at electricalcodeacademy.com. Or go to our website, electricalcodeacademy.com, and up the top, you'll see a Contact Us button. You can contact us straight from the website. If you have our mobile app, which you should download from our website, then guess what? Then you can contact us through the app. And we're always monitoring the app. All right, folks. Hopefully you got something out of today's episode. Till next time, stay safe. God bless.